Alright, so AEW Revolution was last night, and God, what a show it was. Mr. Pay-Per-View TK done it again. We really got to talk about it because this was Sting's final match, and the show was just great. I'm not really going to go into the 0 hour because it really was nothing special. The only thing I really need to talk about is this was Jay White's promo. Because Jay White realized all the backlash that they were getting, like, oh, Jay White's getting buried, da-da-da-da. So he really addressed it and was like, headed to March 13th in big business, I'm going to show you everything I'm about. So he just threw that out there just to let you guys know. And now we hear that Jay White will be going against Darby at big business. Just to show that Jay White is still in the picture. And he ain't going nowhere. He's going to be back on top soon. Now we start the card with the TNT Championship, Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia. This was a great opening match. Honestly, I really thought they were really going to give it to Daniel Garcia. Like Adam Copeland was come and cost Christian the title. I don't know, because there were points in time where I was like, this might actually happen. Daniel might do it. I would have been happy for him. But then, of course, the patriarchy helped them out, and Christian Cage retained the title. Great way to start the show. I thought it was brilliant. I did think it was going to be different, but I think it's the right move because Christian as TNT champion has been amazing. Then we go with Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson for the Continental Championship. This match was brutal. Bryan gave it to Eddie and Eddie gave it to Bryan. Pause. The amount of gruesome it was. Bryan trying to kill this man, Eddie, making sure that he is still a loser and that he is a bum. But Eddie kept egging him on. Keep giving me all this. I'm going to kick your ass. Bryan kept hitting him with it, and Eddie would not go down. By the end of it, Eddie did retain the title. I really thought Bryan was going to win, but he didn't. And at the end of the day, they did shake hands, and all Bryan wanted to do was not shake his hand, and he did it, and all Eddie wanted was for Bryan to shake his hand. Then they had a nice backstage segment afterwards, and Eddie was basically saying, what you did out there is exactly what I wanted. It wasn't about the championship. It was all about respect. And when you shook my hand, it meant the world to me. Then Bryan says, Eddie showed that I could kick people's asses and respect them. Then we have FTR versus Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. This match was great. The build wasn't that amazing, but the way the Blackpool Combat Club came out, it was dope. The match was pretty good. I didn't like how there wasn't really a big story to it, but the match was great. But what can you expect when you have two of the best tag teams in the world going at it? Just saying. It was a great matchup. Shockingly, BCC won. Usually the hometown heroes win. TK usually does that, but shockingly, they didn't win. And then they show a sign of respect, I guess, for now, until we'll see what happens next with them. Hopefully they continue the story going into whatever we're going to do with the tag team championships. We'll get to that in a little bit, but this match was pretty good. I had no problem with it at all. We're going to quickly just go through this Allstar Scramble. This was pretty meaningless. We all knew it was only going to be Wardlow to win because he's the only one that needs to win this match at all. I mean, he's fiending for a world championship. He has to be on this winning streak, and him winning this just put him higher in the rankings. Then we have Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong. This was a great match. This is the Roderick Strong we needed. We needed a one that was super serious, and he did. He went after Orange Cassidy's injury. Straight backbreakers throughout the whole match, and there you have it. Roderick Strong is now the international champion. And then afterwards was a crazy thing that happens where out of nowhere, Kyle O'Reilly returns, and we're like, yo, he's finally back. And then we're like, is he gonna join the Undisputed Kingdom? They hand him a shirt, and he looks like he doesn't know what to do, and then he leaves. So we'll see where this story goes when it comes to them. Then we had Timeless Toni Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo for the Women's Championship. The ultimate troll job happened in the beginning. Toni Storm came out to her original music, her original outfit and stuff, and I was like, how the hell did she pull this off? Her long hair back? And it turns out to be Mariah May. That was great. Great work by them. And then the real Timeless Toni Storm came out. I thought that was a brilliant way to start this match off. Hilarious. Caught me off guard. What an amazing way to start. However, after this, that's when the match got a little off. It's not like the match was bad, it's just the women didn't get enough time. Only 12 minutes to do this build. The build to this match was better than the match itself. Not saying it was a bad match, but they didn't get the right time that they needed to finish the story, which I thought was very disappointing. But like I said, the match was not bad to the point where I'm like, oh, this is awful. There was some good story going into it, and having it end like that was pretty off to me, but not something that I'm gonna be pissed off about for the rest of the night kind of thing. Just wish they had more time in the ring to finish up. Then we had the match of the night, Will Osprey versus Konosuke Takeshita. We all knew this was gonna be match of the night. Will Osprey's AEW quote-unquote debut, stiff arm after stiff arm. Takeshita is one of the best as well. You knew these two was gonna put on a clinic. Everything was just disgusting. Knee strikes, stiff arms. They were going back and forth. Freaking Will Osprey hit a freaking hidden blade and Takeshita kicked out at one, but then he did it again, and then Will Osprey won his first ever fully contracted AEW match. Him and Takeshita respected each other afterwards, bowed down, and that was pretty much it. Kyle Fletcher showed up and showing that they will be having a match on AEW Dynamite this coming week. This match, you have to watch it for yourself. Me explaining it play by play would not be doing it justice. Then we had the co-main event triple threat match between Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, and Hangman Adam Page. This match was great. It's tough to follow up Will Osprey versus Takeshita, but they tried their best. The match was great because it was telling a story. Hangman, everything he wanted, the only thing he wanted in this match wasn't to win the title. All he wanted was to make sure Swerve did not win, and that's exactly what he did. Every time a ref would come in, he beat up two refs, continuously tried to get Swerve out of this match, and Swerve kept fighting back. Then Samoa Joe catches Hangman in a coquina clutch, and Hangman immediately taps out. And we all know he did that because he did not want Swerve to win. What a way to do it. And the devastation in Swerve's face was insane. Samoa Joe retains, and we'll see what goes on from here. Then, the moment. Sting's final match. Darby and Sting versus the EVPs. We first start off with a nice promo package of Sting in a movie theater looking at all of his past accomplishments, his whole career. And says it's showtime, and both of his kids come out as former versions of Sting, Surfer and the Wolfpack Sting. Everybody went crazy. Even Metallica played. Both of them did stinger splashes, including Darby. It was insane to see this happen. And then this moment. This man Darby off a 12-foot ladder did a swanton through glass, and it looked bad. I have to change it so you don't see how crazy it was because it was devastating. The amount of blood that was coming out of him, it was insane. I'm pretty sure Darby has a death wish. But anyways, after that, the legends, including Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Ric Flair, came out to try to save Sting because it was a 2-on-1 attack now that Darby was gone. And they were like, get out of the way, oh man. They super kick Ricky, and they take out Flair, double super kick Sting. He kicks out, put him through a table. He got right back up. Then they shook his hand saying, nice doing business with you. Then hit a BTE trigger, and he immediately kicked out at one. It was insane. He had enough time to maintain until Darby came back. Then Darby returned, helped Sting. Sting puts in a Scorpion Deathlock, and they tap out. And Sting and Darby end Sting's career on top as tag team champions. Sting remains undefeated in AEW. What a match, and what a good way to end the career of Sting in the best way possible. And even during his speech, he says that Darby was his best tag team partner he's ever had. What an emotional moment. I thought everything was perfect, except the fact that during his whole thing, he had fans crying, and Bleacher Report had the nerve to have them hit the 4-hour mark and cut it off immediately. That got me tight. We did not get to hear the rest of his going away speech. Unless you go to the AEW YouTube channel, you'll see what he said once it got off air. But that part kind of pissed me off, no lie. I was like, Jesus Christ, I want to hear what else he has to say. But anyways, at the end, everybody in the AEW locker room came out to thank Sting for everything he's done in his career. Even had TonyKhan came and gave him a hug because Sting wanted him to. He felt like he couldn't do this without TK, and he thanked him so much. That's what I wish the freaking wrestling fan base would do. I know TK, has his situations, but he's still a great person and does what he can for his legends. And this was a great moment. Anyways, that was AEW Revolution. I think this was a great way to say farewell to Sting and his amazing career. I thought everything in this show was great. There were some minor parts where I was like iffy, but it was nothing where I didn't like it. Didn't hate anything on this show. What do you guys think about the show? Did you guys enjoy it, or did you hate it? Did you not like the way Sting won or the way Sting ended his career? Let me know in the comments. Once again, this has been NezReacts, and I'll see you in my next video. Love you guys.